everybody, and good morning from the road. I am on my way down to the southern part of Virginia to pick up a project that you may have kind of heard me allude to it in my last video, but this particular project is kind of near and dear to my heart. I've got a lot of history with it. So a good friend of mine, Cody, he's got an 84 Camaro Berlinetta, and he and I put this thing together for him as a fun daily driver back in our early 20s. It's 2005. So this car had sat for 9 years before we got it. Had a tired 305 in it, and 700 R4. It is a Berlinetta, the digital dash, which is pretty cool. I do recall some of the stuff not working right on it, and we had modified a bunch of stuff because we had no idea what we were doing. It ended up with a very mildly warmed over 305, and I can't remember if we put like a B-stall converter, which would have been like a 2200 in it, or what. I do know that it had a takeout LT1 roller cam in it, so we ended up with it was a 91, I think, 305 block. So it's anyways, yeah, so this it's a fun car. Cody has enjoyed the car, and he is in a position in his life that the car needs to move along. Now, long term, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with it. We're looking at probably going to let this one go back down to Georgia and be a fun second or third car for my dad. The other thought is that I kind of get the thing just up to snuff, and then I may daily drive it. I know it's got a little bit of damage on a quarter panel. I'm not real sure about how bad it is. It's been probably 10 years since I've seen that. I know that even though it ran last year, it has not been driven much. So this isn't an intention to be a revival. I know there are other channels that do revivals with regularity. But this is kind of the first time in a long time that I've gone to get a car that hasn't run in a while. So I keep thinking budget LS swap, and maybe honestly, maybe a 5-speed, mainly due to cost. I don't want to spend a ton of money on it, but I also don't want to see this thing just sit or go to the crusher or go to somebody who's going to neglect it. It's a particularly special car to me, because Cody and I built this thing together for him, and having the opportunity to go and get it is really, I'm pretty stoked. So the goal today will be to get the thing running well enough to get it onto my trailer, and then I'm going to drag it home. And then, I don't know, I've got 8 hours worth of window time left to think about what I'm going to do with it. And then from there, I guess we'll just, we'll figure it out. We'll play it by ear and kind of go by the seat of our pants with it. I really enjoy a good road trip, and anytime I get to go down through Virginia on 81 is super enjoyable. But I'd never been down this way with it snowy out, so the already really good views were literally breathtaking on this ride. So why don't you sit back and enjoy the music a bit and come along for the ride.
Guys, this thing fired up with so little effort that I honestly forgot to video much of it. I put the battery in, we made sure the thing had fuel and there was oil in the engine. We hit the key and this thing pretty much barked right off. I was super surprised. The amount of effort was just basically minimal. So Cody and his wife and I and their 2 kids, we ended up going and spending a little time at one of the local coffee shops there, just catching up, talking, you know, old times and new times and everything else. And it was such a good time for me to go down there and hang out with them.
Man, I tell you what, yesterday was a long day. It was cold too. I think the highest I saw at all yesterday was 26 degrees. That was going down the highway in the pickup truck. It was like 19 degrees, I think, when I got to Cody's house yesterday. So, but anyways, so car's back. Despite a few different, I guess, small difficulties with the trailer, managed to lose my left hand ramp on my way out of town here, and then Cody went and grabbed a ramp so that we could get the car loaded, and then I found the ramp actually last night after I got home. I'd put up a post and somebody was kind enough to tell me they saw it and about where it was, and sure enough, there it was. Anyways, so let me kind of introduce you to the car. I gotta be honest, I was pretty surprised the thing fired right up yesterday after almost no time. I mean, all we did really was, like, I checked the oil, I put a battery in it, I hooked the fuel pump back up to the feed line. We hit the switch for the fuel pump, let it percolate. I had to smash the gas a whole bunch of times because, you know, I mean, gosh, it hadn't been fired up in forever. But took a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was running. And it stayed idling and had good oil pressure, 60 pounds. So I'm a little hesitant to rip this motor out right now because it seems pretty healthy. So anyways, let me show you a few things that I know about the car now that I didn't know the other day. Quarter panel damage, not as bad as I thought. 15x7 double line IROC wheels. It's a T-top car. It's already got AC delete on it. It's not been registered in 8 years. That's kind of amusing because when we originally got this car in 2005, the last registration was dated 1996. So it's been almost as many years since it's been registered and driven with regularity that it was when we got the car from the old man that lived in Macon. So that's pretty funny. I'm still not real sure what we're going to do with the thing. The big thing here was that car's got a lot of history and sentimental value to my family, and Cody and I are pretty close friends. He's one of those kind of guys that, I mean, I hadn't seen him in 6 years, and we picked right up where we left off 6 years ago. I care deeply for those guys, him and his wife Jess and his 2 little girls. So it was really cool to see them. But yeah, so as far as this car goes, like I said, not real sure. The motor is so good. Guys, there's no reason to pull this motor out right now, other than just because, you know, let's swap the world. But I kind of think that, all right, so you guys, some of you know, I've got a thing for 305s. And it's been a lot of years since I have messed with a 305, and I've got a little bit of unfinished business there. In my mind, I kind of want to just run this thing until the guts puke out. I'm not sure I can justify doing a lot of money on this motor, but it doesn't mean we couldn't get the rest of the car set up. Kind of thinking maybe a Tramac TKX, or Richmond's got a new 5-speed. And it needs a good rear, so I don't know, I'm thinking maybe throwing a 9-inch in it, or the alternative there is to do like an 8.8. So not real sure, lots of things to think about yet. Why don't you guys drop it in the comments what you think? I'm pretty interested. Guys, thanks so much for coming along with me. This has been a pretty fun trip. I am excited about doing something with this thing. I don't know how much resources I can devote to it just yet. So, but yeah, thanks for coming along. If you like the stuff, give me a like or a subscribe or something like that. So, and we'll see you guys on the next installment.